Welcome back, dual-sided. Tony Ferguson, Beneil, Dariush. This weekend as a co-main event of the lightweight title fight between Chandler Oliveira. Tony Ferguson comes in this match at 26 wins, 5 losses. And he's coming off a tough 2020.
Yeah, he lost 2 in a row.
2 in a row after 12 fight win streak, which his last loss came in 2012. So he from 2012 to 2019, he was undefeated, 12-0. So
the first loss came against Gaethje. It was Gaethje was a fill-in for Khabib.
Yeah, he wasn't even. Gaethje was not favored to win that fight. So that was a shock. Obviously,
who do you think? What if it was Khabib versus Ferguson?
Khabib would kill him after seeing what Gaethje did, even after what Oliveira did to Ferguson. But we'll get to that in a little. But obviously he went 0-2 2020 last year. Losing to, obviously you just stated, Gaethje and Oliveira. And Ferguson's loss to Gaethje, it snapped a 12 fight win streak to the loss last year. Tony, prior to the loss last year, he was 2012, undefeated since 2012. And, coming into this fight, Tony has a 4-inch reach advantage over Beneil. So take that into account because, that Tony's just crazy, huh? You don't know what to expect out of him. Beneil Dariush comes in at 20-4, and he's currently on a 6-fight win streak. His last fight was, a couple months ago, February 6th of this year. So, he's fresh. Ferguson's also fresh. His last fight came against Oliveira in December. But, Dariush is coming off a win. But Dariush, even, back in, I believe, October 3rd for UFC 254, Oliveira was supposed to fight Islam Makhachev, which Oliveira is now, fighting for the lightweight title. He was supposed to fight Khabib's, I think cousin, isn't that his cousin, Islam? I'm pretty sure that's his cousin.
Which one?
Islam Makhachev. He was supposed to fight him at UFC 254, but Makhachev had to pull out of the fight, and that's where, Dariush threw his name in the hat, and, for some odd reason, Oliveira had to pull out due to some, I think it was personal or family issues, which to Dariush, he thought that he was, maybe making excuses. I don't know. But, so Oliveira pulled out of that fight, but he also, was calling out Tony Ferguson. So he must have thought that the Tony fight was an easier fight for him. Ironically, Oliveira beat Tony, and Tony's going to fight Dariush. So Dariush also threw in his name for the, replacement for the, this weekend's title fight in case one of, Chandler or Oliveira they have to pull out. So Dariush has been, he's been active in throwing his name out, and, this is his first ranked, top 5 guy, I believe, after calling out, his last fight. I think he was like, I deserve a 5 ranked, 5 top 5 fighter, which he got it now. So obviously if he beats Tony this time, he's definitely going to be at the top, fighting, alongside, the top, 5 contenders. After he said that, after he stated he threw his name as a replacement for this title fight this week in 262, he quoted, he said this, and I quote, "I've been training for 5 rounds, just in case I've been training for 5 rounds for sure, because if you think about it logically, Tony is coming off 2 losses, so it's going to be hard to give him the title shot. And I'm on a 6-fight win streak, so they can toss me in there if one of them falls out. So I've been training for 5 rounds, and I'm ready for 5 rounds. This is what he said. So, I doubt, you don't think no one's going to pull out, huh?
The main event?
Yeah. No one's definitely not going to.
That's a few days away. I don't see anything unless a major injury happens.
In my opinion, I think Tony deserves it more than Dariush after 12 fights.
But it wouldn't look good if he did it.
That's why a lot of people are saying that's why they made Chandler versus Oliveira, because both of them, obviously Khabib was dominating that division. They haven't lost to Khabib. So if you threw in Gaethje versus, whoever else, Gaethje.
It could have been Ferguson if he had won the last fight in December.
Yeah, easily. And Oliveira was supposed to, I think they were trying to fight Oliveira once more before a title fight, and Oliveira did the right thing refusing the fight until it was a title fight. So he did what Tony should have done. And Tony's, I just feel bad for him. 12 straight wins, and then to lose 2 straight, and then to have people, potential to have people talk about, oh, what if he loses this fight? Can he be released? Which, I mean, do you think that's three straight losses Ferguson in a row? Yeah, you think that warrants a release after 12 straight?
It depends on how, because the Gaethje fight, he just got killed, and then Oliveira was a little more.
Oliveira's was worse in my opinion.
Was?
Yeah, because Oliveira made him look like he wasn't.
Yeah, but Oliveira's actually good, decent. I don't know. Maybe if he continues on a losing streak, maybe, but I don't think so.
Yeah, you gotta. I think if I'm Dana, I feel bad that this guy hasn't, because he was scheduled to fight Khabib for the title I think over 4 times. So I mean, going back to 2017, I think, where both of them had to pull out due to medical reasons. I think Tony tore, something with his leg.
What happened last year? Who pulled that? Khabib for what?
For the pandemic, he couldn't come. He couldn't travel. And then after that, that's where Gaethje. Even then, I wouldn't have. If I'm Ferguson, I wouldn't have taken the
Gaethje fight. He wasn't prepared for that.
Yeah, because So I mean, if I'm like I just stated, Oliveira did the right thing at refusing to fight unless it was for the title fight. And he even turned down Chandler as to fight earlier. I think it was against Chandler to fight earlier this year. And it wasn't a title fight. I think they were gonna make that fight and then wait for the winner of Conor versus Dustin, and then the winner of Chandler Oliveira fights the winner of Dustin and Conor, and that's the title fight. But instead they made this which is the Oliveira versus Chandler this main event this weekend. They made that the title fight. So it's gonna be, the whole card is stacked. But I mean, what's your predictions on this fight? I mean, Dariush is that's a tough opponent. I mean, he's a favorite at -152, and Tony's at +125.
I'm gonna go with the surprise. Ferguson has he flips the switch and
hopefully he
gets a knockout round 2. I say
round 2. I think it's gonna be, unfortunately, it's gonna be Beneil by decision, I think. But
submission, that would never happen.
No, Tony. If anyone were to submit Tony, I mean, that Oliveira could have easily submitted him with an armbar, and Tony didn't even tap. So
yeah, he's only submitted one time.
Yeah,
against Kevin Lee,
and he's only been knocked out one time, huh? Versus Gaethje, and that was at TKO. So I mean, I don't see Beneil knocking him out or submitting him. I feel like
if any other fighter in the Gaethje fight versus him, any other fighter, I forgot which punch it was.
That would have been out, huh?
Yeah, that would have been lights out for them.
That's
he ate those punches.
Yeah, he ate those punches, and that's ultimately when he nodded his head that he couldn't go anymore. Which, I mean, you don't think that's quitting, huh?
Well, I thought he was just shaking his brain.
I thought he nodded
because he got he got stung.
Oh yeah, maybe that's why. I'm just saying that Tony's never. I don't think he has the quit in him. So
he would never. I don't think he would ever throw in the towel. To be honest.
So I mean, Tony, you're talking about one of the toughest, scariest fighters in the UFC, UFC history, not just in lightweights, but
his name says it.
Cucuy. Cucuy. So it's gonna be an interesting fight. I think this could easily, be the fight of the night if the main event doesn't.
Yeah, for sure.
If it doesn't, because obviously Tony, for the fight UFC 229 against, the main event was Khabib versus McGregor, and the co-main event was Tony versus Showtime Pettis, and that one, I think that one fight of the night. I mean, that's where Anthony Pettis.
I think that was better than. Yeah, that was definitely.
Yeah, definitely more entertaining. Obviously the McGregor and Khabib fight was entertaining too, but most of it came from the built-in beef. But Tony Ferguson, I don't think if he loses this fight, I don't think he should. He should be in the same position as like Donald Cerrone. I mean, Donald Cerrone.
Cerrone's done. I think they're gonna release him.
No, Dana White said he's gonna give him one more fight at lightweight just to retire him. That's I mean,
Cerrone, his lightweight.
No, he's welterweight, but Cerrone said that he feels better, fighting at 155, which Dana said on, Monday that he's going to give him that retirement fight. So, I mean, so he could ride off in the sunset. But, I mean, I thought he should have been gone, before the Conor fight. That's why I don't really count the Conor fight. That was against an old cowboy. So, I mean, but we'll get to Conor at a different time. But Tony Ferguson versus Beneil, it's going to be a great fight. You said Tony in the what round?
I think I said round 2 or 3.
By knockout? Yeah. So I hope that happens, but I feel like it's going to be Dariush by decision. And, so thank you guys for watching. Follow us on social media down below at DUALSIGHTED, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And thanks for watching. Peace.